I'm Bob Daves, and this video is kind of to help you get to know me. As you can tell by my voice, I'm from somewhere in the South, and it's kind of funny because all the years that I've traveled, I've been accused of being from everywhere in the South, from Alabama to Georgia to South Carolina to Tennessee to Kentucky, you name it. I'm born and raised in North Carolina, and at an early age, I was about, well, probably 6 or 7 years old, my parents divorced. My dad worked for a large trucking company based in my hometown as I grew up. My mother worked in the textile industry. But when my parents remarried, it wasn't his kids, it wasn't her kids, it was our kids. So I'm very privileged. When my mother and dad, there was me and my brother and my sister, but after they remarried, I have 5 brothers and 3 sisters. See, we never did the half brother, half sister, step brother, step sister thing. We're all brothers and sisters, and to this day, it's still that same way. But everything I am today is because of my parents and my grandparents. I'm not in a bad sense, but in a great sense because they taught me work ethic. They taught me the principles of faith and things that are important in my life. And my stepfather kind of introduced us to becoming entrepreneurs, the boys as entrepreneurs when we were young. He bought us all push mowers, and we would go around our neighborhood knocking on people's doors and asking them if we could mow their lawn. See, we mowed people's lawns in the summer, we raked their leaves in the winter, shoveled snow in the summer to make money. So that's where I learned how to become a salesperson. And it's kind of funny, back then when I was doing it, if somebody told me no, I didn't take it as rejection. I just went on to the next house and knocked on the door. So the nice thing about that was we earned money. And because our sisters took care of the house while we were out mowing lawns, on Friday night we all went skating. But something else our parents taught us that was very important was to save 10%, put it in savings, and give 10% to charity. So that's where I kind of learned all that as I was growing up. But a funny story about saving up money. When I was a freshman and I took English, I didn't like the English teacher. And so I failed freshman English. And my mother went down to the bank and took $35 out of my savings account. Okay? Made me pay to go to summer school. I got straight A's. The lesson I learned is get it right the first time, it doesn't cost you any money. So after high school and college, I really wasn't sure what I wanted to do with my life. So I joined the Air Force and I really enjoyed it. I was an aircraft mechanic. I worked on F-4s, F-16s, and all kind of other aircraft throughout my career, and I was going to make it a career. I did a tour in South Korea, came back to the States. I was on my way. I was going to go to Homestead Air Force Base for my next assignment. I met this young lady. We got married. She was going to join the Air Force too, so she went on to basic training and tech school, and then she later on joined me at Homestead. A few years later, we had our first child. It was a daughter, Miranda. She was born at Homestead Air Force Base in Florida. A little while later, we got transferred back to Shaw Air Force Base in South Carolina. She got out of the Air Force when she was pregnant with my daughter. After my son was born, a few months later, my wife and I separated. We eventually got a divorce. And I wanted physical custody of my children because for some reason I felt like these were the only 2 children that I was ever going to have. And it turned out I was right. It was the only 2 children I ever had. So I discovered something very quickly. Single parenthood and military back in those days did not mix. So I got an honorable discharge and moved back to North Carolina. But the thing about one of the things I learned in the military, that's where I developed my love and personal growth and development and leadership. That's where I got that start at. So after the Air Force, moved back to North Carolina. I went back to a career that I did when I was in high school. A good friend of mine of about 41, 42 years, Calvin, introduced me to radio broadcasting. I was an announcer on the air and enjoyed it. So I went back to work in radio. Did that for a while, and then finally one day it kind of dawned on me. I'm working in small and medium market stations, and they have no health benefits, they have no benefits, no retirement, none of that. 2 small children growing up. So I left and I went into sales, and later on sales management and sales training, and I did it for over 30 years. So I really enjoyed sales training because I help people become fantastic salespeople, ethically, know high pressure and things like that. I did that. The last company I worked for was out of Dallas, Texas, and I was a sales trainer. But in 2012, back up, I got remarried um, in 1995 and married a wonderful lady and moved to Indiana. And then in 2001, she came down with a muscle disease. And so in 2012, I decided to leave corporate America and go to work for myself. I was going to go to work and teach sales and leadership training and things like that because I had the experience and the talent to do it. I became a certified trainer, coach, and speaker with John Maxwell's advanced leadership team. I really enjoy adding value to people. I want people to become the very best versions of themselves. Kay and I have been married for 19 years. We had, along with the two children from my first marriage, we are the grandparents of 5 wonderful grandchildren. There's Brayton, there's Tristan, there's Lane, there's Gracie, there's Chloe. They are just the joy of our life, and we truly enjoy it. Kay and I right now, we currently live in North Carolina and Florida. When it starts to get cold, we pack up the road show and we go to our home in Boynton Beach, Florida. I like to read, I like to play golf. I don't play golf very well. I play woods golf. I hit it from one side of the woods to the other. And I'm active in civic and church groups. I attend Christ Fellowship Church in Florida. I'm active with the Cleveland County Chamber of Commerce here in North Carolina. I'm also active with the Chamber of Commerce of the Palm Beaches, where I have the privilege of serving as an ambassador on the ambassador committee. And I also am a member of the KAIS University's Business Advisory Board, where we help students make sure they have a well-rounded curriculum and course so they're prepared to go out into the workforce and get a job and help them be very, very successful. Well, listen, that's a little bit about me. And I'm really looking forward to hearing from you. So leave me a comment. Tell me some of your story, and I hope to see you soon. Thanks for listening. Have a blessed day, and I want you to go out and make it a tremendous day.